if you're lactose intolerant, you can't watch this movie because it's got so much cheese.
Sorry, yeah, I gotta go. You guys can do this on your own now.
Nope, end it there. You agree 100%. I'm right.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Flicks Fellas.
Hi, James.
Hello. I'm not.
We
James,
got
but
some-
Hello.
We got somebody new here. Kevin's gone.
Woo!
It's much larger, Kevin.
It's my own flesh and blood. This is my little brother, Jack, who's actually taller than me now.
And 50 pounds heavier.
You should have said your son.
My son. He's my son.
He's
And
my
I'm
mistake.
proud. No, I am proud of my boy Jack. But I'm happy to have you on, Jack. Glad to have you. We haven't done a lot of guest episodes. You're actually our second.
Good enough.
But we're happy to have you on.
Love that. Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Nice. So you're like a big movie critic, right? Big time.
I have very bad ADHD, so I can hardly concentrate enough to keep looking at the camera, let alone get through an entire movie.
I heard you were published in Robert Ebert's journal for movie reviews.
Yeah. Bobby Burks, love that guy. Good guy.
Bobby Burt. Love Bobby Burt. All right.
Good guy. Like that guy. I saw
I
him
said
today at work.
Roger, not Robert.
Oh, yeah, right.
No, that's his little brother. It's
Yeah,
the
got it. Joey, gotta keep
so-
up with this, dude. Come on.
Yeah. So, this episode of Flicks Fellas, we are going to take a look at a movie, a Netflix original movie, Army of the Dead. This is an action-packed zombie movie that puts a very fun twist on the classic theme of a born-again, flesh-eating monster. This film is directed by the highly praised Zack Snyder from the Snyder Cuts, and has a star-studded cast of zombie-killing vault hunters, which includes Dave Bautista, Ella Purnell, Amari Hardwick, and Ala de la Reguera. I'm messing that name up. I always mess the names up. That's just the theme. No, Reguera, I think it is Reguera, and many more. There's tons. This cast is huge.
And many more.
This movie takes an intriguing twist on a classic, slow, shambling zombie movie, and puts our cast in Las Vegas. Now, fellas, let's start with Joey, because Joey's, he's the returning fella. Joey, what are your first reactions?
I enjoyed this movie. The style I thought was nice. I like Zack Snyder's style. The writing and acting I thought were a little cheesy, especially in the beginning. I thought it wasn't like, I don't know, it felt a little like forced, it felt a little like cheesy. The one-liners that they try to throw in didn't really seem to land that often, but I enjoyed this movie. It was very long, but it was an enjoyable long. It wasn't like, oh my god, I need this to end now type of long.
Yeah, it wasn't a movie where you're looking at the timestamp and you're like, ugh.
No, it was. You enjoy the whole time, but at the end you're like, oh wow, that was 2.5 hours. Like, with little
2.5 hours long.
It is, especially for today. I feel like 2 hours is like maximum typically, but I don't know. I enjoyed it. Again, I thought the story was good. I think that they did a really good job of building the story and not just putting it into this post-apocalyptic zombie world that they were forced to like now survive in. Like they did a good job of like talking about how they got here, what the stakes are, why now, all this like drama of everything. But I had some dilemmas with the acting and the writing.
Okay.
But
yeah, so it's not like a wholehearted. Yeah, go ahead.
So, I also liked it. I thought it was an incredibly engaging movie. There were certain parts of it where I was sitting here at my desktop screaming at my computer at what they were doing. It was predictable, that I will take away from it, but that's kind of the theme in a lot of movies. Like, when something's about to happen, I'm like, oh, this dude's gonna XYZ, and then it happened.
Oh, sorry, you finished and then I have one more comment I want to make.
I was going to generate a thought after I said, never had the chance, I'll tell you.
Nip that right in the bud. Love that. We love
I was
that
in the
for
middle
you,
of
Jack.
my process and Joe pulled the plug and I was just like, no.
You were saying how it's very repeatable. It's not super original. It's
Predictable.
very
Yeah, it's
easy. To predict.
predictable. And another thing with the, I agree with you, Joe, on the intro. That was very much just like, hey, here's how this happened.
Yeah.
It's
No,
Yeah.
I was gonna say. Also, by the way, I cut off James a lot on this show, so maybe it's just a Carol thing that I do.
fair enough.
Almost exclusively.
Not exclusive anymore.
True.
Anyway, I was gonna say that it gave me like Ocean's 11 vibes, where they're like trying to break into a casino and they got to go through all these hoops and what yada yada. But in Ocean's 11 and 12 and 13, the crew is much more like skill based. Wherever, yeah, it's just like everybody is like, okay, this is the locksmith, this is our charming person, this is the person who's going to manipulate here. This just kind of felt like a group of people, and like two of them had a purpose: the helicopter person and the
same
locksmith.
driver.
Everyone else was just
Yeah.
like muscle. There was no really like. Although
Yeah.
I did like Lily.
To be
She-
fair, though, Joey, the high difference between the two movies is the zombie horde. So, like, you do need a lot of zombie killing.
accurate. But I
did
see
notice
where
that.
I see where Joe is coming from. I forget how many characters there were in the little combo, but it was literally 6 Vin Diesels and then 2 Ludacris's or who is Roman?
You talking about
What is
like
his
from
name?
Fast and Furious,
He's
like when
talking
they do
about
high
Fast
stuff
and
at
Furious,
Fast and
yeah.
Furious?
Yeah, well,
yeah.
that's but like Vin Diesel's like the tough character that's the leader and he's badass and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And that's
Yeah.
kind of all we had apart from the
Yeah, and
Locksmith.
Ludacris is like the tech guy. Yeah. I got
Yeah.
what you're saying. Where it's like you're talking about the roles. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Do you have anything else, Joey? I don't want to cut you off. Like you cut me off. But I want to roll it into my first reactions, if that's cool.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
James.
Please,
All right, if that's
James,
cool.
take it
Yeah,
away.
Yeah. Cool. So I thought this movie was a very fun ride, and I thought, like, I did say it in my little intro, but I think it was a very unique take on zombie movies, because I feel like we live in a world where, like, I would like zombie media, and it's like the fucking floodgates like open and there's nothing but choices, but it's like essentially like after a while a lot of zombie media is very, very similar, so I just feel like this, like this does remind me a lot of the video game Dead Rising 2, because did you either of you guys, Jack, I think we played that game together.
I
when we were
did. I
younger.
beat it several
Yeah.
times.
Identical. It's very similar, where it's like you're in like a Las Vegas-esque city and it's full of zombies and you're trying to survive.
Yeah, literally,
that
it's
is the-
Fortune City all over.
Yeah. But I'm saying is like this is the only other piece of content that I think really relates to that. And I like the idea that it's like it's a super serious movie and it's like bloody and gory and like there's obviously a lot of death because there's zombies in it. But I think it was very fun. That's what I will say about this movie. It was a very fun ride, and it's not winning any Oscars, but like, I think we could talk about it more if it's worth the watch. But I think it was fun, and I will say that the lack of role diversity was a little annoying. Like there was really only like 2. Like I think at max there was like 4 roles, or 5 roles, and there was 12 people.
Yeah.
So, I also want to say, because you said you want more zombie movies, my biggest gripe with zombie movies is that all zombies are the same. I mean, which I get, they're like mythical kind of creatures that like have rules that they follow by, but it's always you have to shoot them in the head to kill them. They don't die just by chopping off the head. If they bite you, you become a zombie. Like, I do want to see something a little bit more unique.
I did see them bring some uniqueness into this movie, though. Like there wasn't like, not to get into spoilers, but like the zombies they have in this movie don't necessarily line up with every zombie I've seen.
Agreed. No, I'll give you that. There was some uniqueness.
Yeah, I'm glad James touched on that because he's right. They did do a phenomenal. That's what I was worried about when we started watching it. I was completely with your point, Joe. I'm like, I got it. Shoot him in the head. You can't get bitten, or else you become a zombie. But they added another aspect, which we will discuss further as soon as we get it. Enough spoiler.
You're right.
Right.
I forgot about that
Yes.
aspect, and I'm happy you reminded me because
Yeah.
it was okay. Thank you.
It was cool. Thank you. Joey's like, thank you. I am wrong.
Happy to check you before you wreck yourself.
Happily wrong.
Happily wrong. Listen, that's what we're here. We're here to solve problems on Flix
Yes.
Fellas. Those hard-hitting zombie
Aw,
problems.
but I'm good at creating problems. That's not fun.
Jack, no. Okay, so I think I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to bring up before we roll into spoilers. Is there anything else anybody wants to talk about before? Anything else, just kind of first reactions? I think it's fun. Don't take it too seriously. Say again.
Just your feelings. Yeah. Anybody got feelings today?
Does anyone want to talk about their feelings?
Can I say, did they give us a timeline of this movie?
No.
There wasn't, right?
There was.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but it's not. You know, we'll wait till we get into the spoiler section.
Yeah, just to be safe.
A comment about the beginning and the time.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was confused. I was like, did I miss this? But yeah, we'll wait.
I loved the intro music. What did you guys think of it? Yeah, where it's like Viva Las Vegas. I loved that. I was so fucking about that intro.
The opening scene, and then I loved the intro title sequence.
Yeah.
So
maybe. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about
too long, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, thank you all for signing on and enjoying First Reactions. We will see you after we hear a word from our sponsors.
They all died.
And we're back. You fuck!
Wait a second. So hold on.
Didn't even give me a second.
Before we move on, this is the part where we can talk about spoilers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
One fucking person survives.
One person.
One.
Not to jump to the end of the fucking movie, but thank you, sponsor, for sponsoring this episode of Flicks Fellas and helping us put on a good show.
And putting on a buffer so that somebody doesn't just jump right into the biggest spoiler of the movie.
Joey, my guy, 5 seconds.
So, hold on.
Give me 5 seconds.
Just sold it up the river.
Can I say, real quick, before we came back from the break, we were explaining to Jack that this is the section where we now spoil, or we talk freely and spoil stuff. And my go-to is whenever I like to spoil something for somebody, whether it's real or not, I always say they all die. In this case, it just happens to be true.
Technically not true. Technically not true. There is one.
Yeah. There's technically two, almost one.
Yeah, 1.5.
Yeah.
1.5, almost going to be one at one point. But yes, 100%. So we'll get into that, 100%. But let's start at the beginning of the movie. Because we want the podcast to be more than 15 minutes long. That intro sequence. You said that you didn't like it, Joe? You thought it was too long?
No, I love the intro sequence. I thought it was a little bit too long. Because there's a part where the music starts to slow down, and they keep going with it, and I was like, okay, this is a good spot for it to end. But it just kind of...
one of their friends dies, right, in the intro sequence. Like, they have a character death in the intro sequence.
Yeah. So there was like, they're going through the whole thing of Vegas just getting infected. And there's a mother and a daughter. The mother's a badass doing all this fighting, loses track of the daughter, finds her again, gets caught literally right on the way out, and then they get a shipping container dropped on their head.
Yeah.
They get squeezed.
Squeeze.
Yeah.
Which
I will say... Go ahead.
No, sorry, you were gonna say.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was I thought that was fun. That was fun. That was interesting because I've never really seen that done where you have like because you essentially have the intro for like the four main characters in Dave Bautista's crew, where his name's Scott Ward in this movie. The character Scott Ward. You have an intro for like the four main characters, you know what I mean, from his crew, and one of them dies in the intro sequence, even though she gets the full intro. Like, she literally gets her full intro and then fucking dies the next scene, you know?
Yeah, they throw it in right away, which I did like, that it was like, oh, everyone's expendable.
Yeah,
we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's true. And it's also, like, I like it because it gives the characters, it's not just like, oh, they went to Vegas and, like, they were fine. You know what I mean? Like, somebody died there. Dave Bautista lost his wife there, you know?
Not there. That was later.
Or not there. Yeah, later.
Not there.
It was when they recording off.
The way he loses his wife leads onto a comment I have about this movie, rather a warning about it. If you can't deal with gory movies, steer clear.
Oh, yeah.
This is the goriest movie I've ever watched in my life.
Yes.
Really? It's not...
Hands down.
Is it that gory?
Yes.
It's pretty gory.
Dude, I guess if we're talking about spoilers, how he killed his wife is his wife changes, trying to kill his daughter, who's in the bathroom. She sees
Big
him,
stab her in the
tackles him, and he grabs a knife and jams it down into her skull to kill her.
Yeah, it'll do it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh my
gory.
god.
Um,
Yeah, it's pretty gory.
But back to the opening sequence and my comment earlier about the timeline not really making sense. To stop the zombie apocalypse from spreading, they build this shipping container wall all around the city of Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
My first
Yeah.
thought when I saw them, I was like, damn, did they coordinate this really quickly and plan for this? Or it was like, is this just like one wall? Or it was just very confusing as to how, like, the logistics of it, because I was like,
How'd they get the shipping
does the rest of the
containers out
world
here
even
so
know
fast?
what's going on right now? Like, I just assumed that, like,
No, they do.
I did. I
think it
realized
was,
well,
like-
that was like a government approach. Was they built
Yeah.
the wall, the shipping containers? They're in the
So
middle of the
the-
desert. There's not a lot of shipping
that's-
containers
but
around
No,
there.
but that's what I think. I think that it was like because essentially the intro sequence of like how the zombie outbreak happened was it was right outside Las Vegas. You know what I mean? It was like somebody going from a base to Area 51, and like the zombie got out and infected Las Vegas. Like Las Vegas is pretty desolate. Like outside of Las Vegas, it's a long way before you get to like other towns. and shit,
Yeah.
you know. So it wouldn't surprise me that there were like the infection was mainly in Las Vegas, spread a little bit to other towns, but they were able to kind of like fight it back and then like literally wall off Las Vegas because it was too densely populated. You know what I mean?
So I think the only way that really could have been real, the way it was depicted in the movie, is that the wall is right on top of the borders of Las Vegas.
yeah,
The way I think it is feasible, and it really kind of is if the wall was 20 miles further out. Because then they would have had all the time in the world to build the wall, or more time, and have it done. But you know, it's not really as pleasing a visual when it's just a giant circle with one city in the middle.
Yeah, because that was
why
my
didn't
point
they use
too.
a helicopter to go in?
What did you
What
say?
was that?
You know, why didn't they use a helicopter to go
They
in?
said there's a no-fly zone over Las Vegas, which doesn't make sense because if there's no fly zone, you can't fly in or out. They're not looking at directions.
Yeah.
So they're like, there's no.
Yeah, but they're about to nuke it, so they don't care anymore.
No,
Like, they're
but-
not going to have like.
That was still a day early, though.
Yeah, I guess so. But I get maybe it was one of those things that they were like they're clearing the zones before they obviously because the whole plot of the movie is they send. So this is like the fucking 1 minute synopsis of the plot of this movie is Dave Bautista is a retired zombie fighter who helped like push, or maybe he's from the military, but he pushed, helped like secure Las Vegas and have it be like the only place that has the zombie outbreak instead of it infecting other places. He is approached by someone who owns a casino on the strip and is basically like, hey, if you could put a team together and go break into the safe, there's like fucking $100 million in there or something like that.
200.
$200 million, and then he gets 50 million he gets 50 to like disperse among his team. They go in to go crack the safe, get all the money. The zombies are like much more advanced than they thought. Shit goes awry. There's traitors in their midst, and also they like people have other agendas. They try to make it out. A lot of people die, and then eventually everybody dies. That's the 1 minute synopsis. But Jack, you have something to say.
The intro of the movie was also very yada yada. From
What does that
the
mean?
guy, it was like it's just there was the intro to the story was like a little snippet of the movie, and it was so much so fast that it was a little hard to keep up with. And then it was this super long drawn. I guess that's kind of every single movie.
I'm just describing movies.
I don't know. I just thought like they got from a guy getting a beach from his newlywed to a.
I
a
did not
zombie-
understand what you were saying until I understood the scene.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody who doesn't know that, Beej, BJ, blowjob, roadhead,
Yes.
zombie apocalypse, 1, 2, 3.
Urban Dictionary. But yeah, no, 100%. So yeah, it was. So what I will say is, I did like how at the beginning of the movie, like I think the very beginning, explaining the zombie apocalypse was a little long. I thought it was cool, but it was definitely a little longer than it needed to be, especially because the rest of the lore, like described, is done in like exposition over the news. You know what I mean? Like it's very like this, and we're nuking the city in 2 days. You know? What I mean?
Yeah, like I thought it was okay. It was exciting to like see the build up and not just like zombie fightings for 2.5
Yeah.
hours, which I thought was good.
It's true.
But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was just
I forgot it was so long.
it was long.
I forgot the movie was
I-
long.
I-
It was a long fucking movie.
I think the longest we watched before this was 2 hours, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna need 2 hours to watch this movie, and then I turned it on.
No,
I was
dude.
like, oh shit, I'm gonna be short by a half hour, and then I found a half hour to watch it. So
Wasn't Cherry 3 hours? I thought Cherry was 3 hours
Cherry
long.
was-
Like an actual 3 hour.
was
Super fucking
Let's
long.
find out. You guys continue.
Yeah, but regardless, no, I think that like so kind of moving past the beginning of this movie, you get to the point where like Dave Bautista gets approached by like super sketchy guy, a sketchy businessman walks into the bar.
Same
and
actor
offers
that
you
Hawkeye
$50
killed in
million.
Avengers.
Really?
Hawkeye was like going through and killing all the people in the alley, like when he's like right after the snap after he lost his mind,
Oh,
and the big
yeah,
bad
yeah.
guy had like a sword fight with him, and then he ended up killing him the same way
And
Dave
that
Bautista
same
killed
guy.
his wife.
Ah, very nice.
FYI,
Hey,
Cherry was 2 hours and 22 minutes. This one was 2 hours and 28
Oh, it's shorter than
minutes. Yeah, so it's shorter.
oh, this is the longest.
But this one was definitely
Um,
easier to watch.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, it wasn't like Cherry was like a fucking. That was tragedy. This was more like it was just like a fun
Fictional
ride.
tragedy.
I also it was fictional. So like whatever. So they get this deal, right? They're like, hey, you want $50 million? I love how like they offer Dave Bautista $50 million, and he's like he's the only one that knows the cap, and he like talks to like his two friends, and he's like, all right. We each get 15 million, and we'll break up 5 million for like the other 9 motherfuckers we bring. And I'm like, that's so funny. Like they're just not that it matters at the end of the movie, but like, you know,
Yeah, I was.
It's
They were like,
interesting.
"Oh yeah, you get 250,000, sweet. Oh, you get 10,000, sweet. Oh, you like." Everyone thought they were like making equal
Yeah.
pay, and then they're like,
The helicopter person got $2 million. And she's like, I don't even give a fuck what I'm doing. $2 million, I'm
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
So, question: how much money, if you know that you're going in there, how much money does someone have to pay you?
No, for me, no shot. Because I watch zombie movies, and I have a really bad habit of putting myself in their shoes in a zombie
Yeah.
movie. So where the girl has to kill her father, I like, I'm looking at that, and I'm just like, nope, no
Yeah.
amount of money.
I mean, if I get bit, I'm totally taking one to the head. You know what I mean? Like I'm taking
Same.
myself out. You know?
"Yeah,
Same, but if I can live and watch a city burn to the ground on 4th of July, I'll go that
That'd be
route.
pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
pretty American," as the president
Um,
said.
Yeah, it's pretty American.
No, so
yeah, dude, that president line was
So
fucking
great.
hilarious. Like the
It's
little
like,
throwing
it would have been
lines.
cool though,
Yeah.
and it is kind of American. But
That
Pretty
president-
badass 4th of July
That president understands that Saturdays are for
yes,
That's what he understands.
I didn't realize the money thing. Like obviously I realized that they were doing it for the money, but like I didn't put myself in that shoes of like how much would I need until
Mhm.
I think it was towards the end. One of them got bit, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, yeah, not money doesn't do money
you're
doesn't
gambling
do
with
you
your
any
life.
good when you're a zombie or you're dead.
When you're
Like,
dead, yeah. I would say I would need to get at least 15 to go in.
dollars.
At least $15. I would pay them $15 for me to go in.
Loophole.
No, but like, man, dude, that was fucking rough. I loved though at the beginning of the movie. So like, once they do the whole thing where they get like kitted, they take the mission, they get the fucking team together. Who I loved Dieter. What was your favorite?
Oh.
Who's your favorite people? Who are your favorite people on the team? Who are your favorite people on the team?
Hands down, Dieter. Hands down.
Which one?
Such a good actor.
Wait, sorry,
He was the German guy,
Oh.
the German savior.
German
was
locksmith.
Very good. I was a big fan of Lily, as James knows already.
Lily was
She
great.
was the coyote
That's
girl.
She was badass.
She's pretty badass.
She was fucking badass.
Yeah, she'd be a
dude.
great person to
Yeah.
have on your team in a post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah. Okay, Joey.
I respect how fucked up she is. That's what I respect. She's
Yeah,
like,
dude, she's
hey,
fucking-
we need one more. And
Yeah.
She fixed the asshole guard.
Yo,
and it's just like,
she,
fucking
like-
hog ties his ass.
That's what I'm saying. You need people
Yeah,
like
she
that on
shoots
your
him in the
team who
fucking
are just gonna
leg.
make the hard decisions sometimes.
Dude, she's an ice cold killer. Like that was nuts. She's
Granted,
just like,
he was a
hey.
rapist, so it's like, okay.
No, he's a shit
Yeah.
person. Like he's a shit person that deserved to die. But like the fact that she's just like, I need a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Hey, you with the gun.
So easy to manipulate
here.
him too. Like, it was great.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it was. It was. She's a badass. I love.
Yeah,
her.
she was fishing in a shallow pond on that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say so?
But the
I want to
go
go
ahead.
back to
that trade was metal as fuck. That trade was metal as fuck, dude. When she shoots him in the leg and they're
yeah.
because essentially like the back and forth with the zombies, like because there's like I love that when they walked into the city, most of the zombies are like all dried out and dead because they're stupid, and that would make sense, right? Like the human body would dry out, you're not drinking any water, and like they're undead, their brains aren't dead, but like their bodies literally can't move anymore,
Yeah, 110 degrees in a desert, no water, on top of a bunch of other humans.
Yeah, it's just the smart ones that live.
Well, and then he
Yeah.
was like, "How much water does it take to bring them back?" Like he was scared.
Ah.
The
He's
German
like, you
guy.
should see when it rains. Yeah.
I was like, "Don't worry, bro. You're."
I thought they would circle back to, like, she's like, oh, in the rain they come back to life. I thought they would circle back to that, honestly. Like, they're trying to escape
Agreed.
and it starts raining.
I
Yeah,
thought that was gonna
that's what I
be-
thought they would do.
Well, there was a bunch of them in the building. Like those weren't the only ones. Those are the ones that just got caught outside. Like the ones like in the building are on like hibernation mode, and that's how the first person dies. Is like that guy, the fucking guy that's working for what's the character's name? He's the evil like, businessman.
Kata, something like that.
Takada.
Started with a T. Yeah.
Hold on,
Mr.
Yeah,
Japanesey.
Mr. Japanese.
Yeah, he did say that line was
That
so
was-
weird. It was the like
That was the
he
one
said
line.
easy peasy Japanesey, and then they're like it's lemon squeezy, and then the other person's like I'm pretty sure he can say that, and then they just completely
No,
get
not
rid
only
of
Yeah.
it.
That was the.
They made it sound
Yeah.
like that was normal to say easy peasy Japanesey, and they were like,
I think that's what the term was, though. Like historically, I think that might have been what it was. Like I think that's what they were
No one
alluding to.
has-
Is like that used to be.
yeah,
the
but
term.
as long as
Well,
we've
I mean,
been alive,
we're-
it's always been lemon squeezy. So like,
yeah, but that guy's older than we are.
yeah, but I feel like that's not like a thing that like they. I feel like they tried hard in that moment to like make the characters sound woke and like PC when it's like,
Yeah,
no, that's not like a thing that people like say anymore.
yeah. His character's name's Bly Tanaka,
Tanaka.
so it's like Mr. Tanaka. Yeah,
That's why the casino's called Bly. Makes sense.
Yes.
that makes sense. That's a fucking cool ass name.
Yeah, first name?
Yeah,
I
but
would prefer Sly.
Sly Cooper. Me too.
Like that.
Uh,
Yep, that was it. I knew it was the PlayStation game.
Yeah, Sly Cooper. Best PlayStation game. Please remaster it. Listen to me, Sony. Please remaster it. So, no, I think that like the setup of the crew and like the presentation from Tanaka was like super cool. And then the fact that they set up these zombies. So one thing I thought was weird as fuck was the fact like the love thing that they did, like when like the
king and the queen?
princess zombie and the king zombie, yeah, or the king and the queen zombie were like on top of each other going like and they're like on top of each other and like doing this weird thing and I'm just like, what the fuck is going
Well,
on? I also
that's
love
how they made
that
a
one
baby.
character's there like bound up. Yeah, it's true. They did make a weird zombie baby. But like the fucking guy is there tied up like, what the fuck is going on?
To be fair, what would your reaction be?
That's true. That's true. And he kind of deserved it.
Yeah.
He's a horrible
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
Definitely deserved
Always
it.
end it back with
Um,
he deserved it.
Yeah, he deserved it. Well, it's because it's
One-
one of those things that you're like, oh man, I feel bad for him. And then you're like, do you though?
Ha!
Yeah.
Circle back on that one.
Yeah.
One thing we do have to discuss is we hinted at it in the intro. The complexity of the zombies as let's compare them to the Zombieland zombies. The
Yes.
complexity of the zombies in this movie compared to them. All the zombies in Zombieland are just, they're strong, but they're idiot,
They're
dingleberry
zombie
zombies.
eating machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this movie, the way it works is there are, I think they're called shamblers, or like the regular zombies that are like the
like
Zombieland
normal
zombies.
eating zombies.
Yeah, I just said zombies. We're doing good. And then there's this thing called the alphas, which is a really smart way to put it. So there are a number of zombies, all bred off the original zombie that came out of the motorcade, the military motorcade, and they're all super strong, super fast. They can communicate, like they're smart, and they can
Yeah.
organize attacks and stuff like that. Like that is
They're
a
like a
really
community.
great way to put it. Yes, they're like
Yeah.
it's the character, Joe's favorite character, Lily, puts it in a great way. This isn't their prison. This is their
Mhm.
kingdom. Like they control.
rule
They
first.
they got it together.
And like I said, that
Yeah.
was the part where I was like, okay, that was a good twist on typical zombies that are just not just like.
Yeah, agreed. It was cool. Well, that's the whole thing. Is like I feel like regular zombies. It's very much like it's the scary thing about it is they don't sneak up on you. Like you see them
They're
coming.
slow as hell.
They're loud and slow, but there's too many of them. Like you literally can't. Like they take away all the exits because there's so many of them and you can't get
But
rid
it
of
blows my mind because they're so slow. So how do they ever duplicate so fast? Does that make sense? Multiply so
It's
fast.
because I think it's honestly because people aren't ready, and that's why they were able to get it under control. Is because it's like it wasn't like Las Vegas is very isolated. It's like not a major city, you know. Like, and they were able to cordon it off because it's not connected. Like, if you went in a place like Los Angeles, where it's like you go on for miles and miles of miles, and it's like dense housing, then it's much easier to.
That's true. That's a good
Than,
argument.
like, you know.
Aren't you going to Los Angeles, James?
To tomorrow?
Or
Hey,
Hopefully
when
I
you're
don't
there,
see any
last
zombies.
week when
watch
this
out for a
area
zombie
comes out.
outbreak.
Yeah, true. Or like whenever this episode comes out. So I previously and potentially am still in Los Angeles. Depending on when this episode comes out. But no, yeah, I mean they do that. So like again, I think one of the most famous zombie mediums or zombie medias is The Walking Dead, and like very much The Walking Dead is a zombie show based around the Shamblers and the Walkers, where it's like they're slow, they're dumb, but it's like, and they're not like you can deal with them because at a point in The Walking Dead, like the group learns like how to deal with zombies, and they're more just like an environmental hazard than like the main enemy in the show. So it's just something you got to be aware of, and I feel like that's something that would happen, especially like with Dave Bautista's team, is like you learn how to deal with them, especially if it's not a horde. You're dealing with like a few, you know, because they kill a ton of zombies. You know what I mean in this movie, like, and people don't go down like we've again already spoiled that everybody fucking dies, but like
Except for
they
one person.
kill-
We haven't spoiled who that one person
except
is
for one
yet.
person. That's true.
It's Dave Bautista's daughter. We spoiled it now.
Ah! I never finished the movie. No.
Well, I can't
but,
let Joey have all the
that's fair.
spoilers.
That's true. But no, it's just like it was very interesting. I like the take that they had. I agree, Jack, 100%. I like the take that they had on zombies. It felt very fresh. The baby thing was weird though. Like I don't know if that was just me, because like one, like I feel like there was almost no pretense for it. You know, like it was just kind of like they were like. Also, the lady zombie, the queen zombie, ran super fucking weird.
Yeah,
You
with
guys
her
watch
hands,
that?
like, behind
When they're,
her.
like, watching her, she like runs like
She runs
this.
like backpack
Just
kid.
Naruto running.
Yeah,
Fucking Naruto running.
literally Naruto running.
My thought with the baby was that it was gonna be like either the baby was gonna Messiah save the zombies or some way, but I think it was just meant to make the king zombie angrier that his baby is now
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah,
I completely
Makes
agree.
sense.
That was the run. That was the reason the baby was in the movie, was to make the head zombie live. That was the
Yeah.
entire
But
reason.
at the
that it was
same
put him in
time,
attack mode.
so the queen zombie wasn't dead,
No,
so the baby could have.
but the body was. The body
Was
was
it?
dead.
Why?
Yeah, because
So-
if you disconnect the head is like the brains run
everything. That's true. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then.
It's. I guess that's why they're called undead. Because like it's everything here down really does. It's kind of like.
Yeah.
I don't think
You're,
there's
like,
really
kinda-
much sense.
It's
behind
kind of
that.
like a puppet and a puppet master than like you know what I mean, like an
Yeah.
actual functioning body. But I again, I feel like we're going very deep into like the like physical architecture of these make believe creatures. But yeah, no, it's weird. It was definitely weird. I loved the undead tiger and the undead horse, like the guy on horseback. Cool as fuck, dude. That was awesome.
Ice cold cool. Very cool take on. Undead. Like it's you don't see. We've seen undead dogs in Nazi zombies in Call of Duty, but outside of that, you have not seen any other undead. Like on the
Animals.
mainstream, undead animals. By the way, just a little quick tidbit. There's one guy, I think his name's Martin or something like that, who is one of the people with a different agenda or one of the traitors. The tiger ends up getting him, the zombie tiger,
Yeah,
and it was the
that was brutal. Yeah.
brutal. That is like
Yeah.
the tiger could have gotten him in one shot, but it was literally a 5-minute thing that ended with the tiger not even biting the guy's whole head off, biting half of it off.
Eating it. So can I
Yeah.
say though that also
Yeah,
bothered me? Like the CGI of this kind of sucked. a little bit.
Bruh, you didn't like the
The
tiger?
tiger was cool.
The tiger
not?
was the
When
yeah. Tiger's
when
an
the
exception.
tiger like pushed the
I
trader
agree,
for the first
acting.
time.
Yeah.
like,
it was
he,
very
like, went
clunky. It
down.
was very like...
But then the guy's body
Yeah.
just like shot. Whoop! I just lost my headphones.
No,
Hold on,
yeah,
I can't
yeah.
hear
It's
anything.
like the tiger did like the tiger basically did like a push across. I'll repeat this again for Joey because Joey yeeted his headphones.
It's not that hard.
Having some
It's plug
technical
just goes in.
Find the
difficulties,
hole,
technical
sorry.
difficulties. Haha! We're gonna clip that forever. I want that soundbite. I want that forever.
Yeah, it's gonna be
so-
my that's gonna be my next lyric.
Your
That's just gonna
ringtone,
have
yeah.
text tone.
But no, essentially what I was saying is I agree 100%, Joey. The rope work that they did for the actual stunts was like very clunky with CGI because it was like the tiger did like a little swipe to the side and he went fucking flying.
Yeah,
like
I was
he
like,
went
what?
45 degrees in the air. Yeah.
He bent the entire
The
side of a
same thing
minivan.
happened later with the poker table that he flipped. He like flipped the poker table, and then after it does its normal flip, it just like moved across the room like without. I was like, do people have like superpowers? Is there some super force going on here? Like,
It like just like hit the ground. And
yeah,
went,
I was like, what?
it was weird video game
Yeah.
physics. No, it was very cool. I mean, it was very weird.
It felt like things were glitching.
I don't know why, but
like, it was cool.
It did. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that's the very coolest for the tiger. I thought it was a very cool touch, just like Jack said. I thought the fucking, like, I'm not all about, like, the doom and gloom aesthetic, but, like, fucking, dude, zombie, like, undead king zombie on an undead horse with, like, a fucking, like, pole, like, a spear, that's cool as fuck, dude.
That's a visual you
I'm
didn't know
here
you
for
needed.
that. I'm here for that. Yeah. Especially when he's got a pet tiger. Fuck. But that it was cool. It was cool. No, but yeah, it was definitely one of those things that you look at some of the like CGI. I feel like the CGI looked good until it was put against like a real body, and then it was like, yeah, that's a little weird.
Just
you know?
it literally felt like a video game was glitching at times.
Yeah. Did you know that the full like the male zombie, it was one prosthetic, like all the way through. It was one prosthetic from his torso up.
That had to be such
like
a
one
bitch to put on and off after filming
Yeah.
in Las Vegas.
A
Nonetheless.
prosthetic?
Yeah,
Actually, I
it
don't
was
know
like
where they
basically
filmed,
it was like they put on. It was like a big makeup, like so. You know how like the leader zombie basically you saw his chest the whole time.
Yeah.
It was like the things he put on his face and his chest was like one full huge prosthetic, and then they put it on makeup. He probably had that thing on for hours and hours and hours. Like that would have sucked, especially in the heat of Las Vegas or wherever they filmed.
He sweated like a hooker in church.
Yeah, that was a
Wait, guess where they filmed this? Or
was it
Philadelphia.
Las Vegas?
the Showboat Atlantic City.
Oh, that's actually so sick. Gotta love it. Atlantic City,
Fun?
honestly.
Fun fact
very
about
quarantine.
Atlantic.
Go ahead.
Fun fact about Atlantic City for any of our viewers that are not familiar with Atlantic City. If you're not familiar with Atlantic City, don't go. First off, but secondly, the Showboat Casino is one of the casinos on the boardwalk of Atlantic City that has lost their gambling license since the pandemic. So I also think they may have lost their right to be a hotel. So all their floors are unused. So that makes sense as to
Did they
why
film there?
they
You can shoot there.
I also thought the hallway where the girl busted through the window, the first girl that died, I thought that looked so familiar, and I know why. Because we were all
You've been
just there, right
Yeah.
off the arcade. That was that hallway. I knew I saw it. I
Oh,
was
you're
like,
right.
that
You're
looks like the
absolutely
Showboat
right.
in AC. Yeah, that's where they
That's
shot it
so
all.
funny.
That's crazy.
I
That's so
am.
funny.
Still, don't go to Atlantic City.
I'm annoyed. Anyone else annoyed that first girl died the way she died?
I was.
Yes.
That was
They,
kind of
like,
cheap.
Made
Also,
you
Yes.
believe she was going to survive. They made you believe that she was going to turn in the traitor, and like she is so close to getting out, and like literally just has to like push herself up and like run like an extra feet because everybody was there to help her.
She was a
And,
fucking badass
and
too.
then they just killed her. I
Yeah.
was like, oh come on, like
Yeah. What didn't make sense to me is the guy, Guzman or Guzman, whatever his name was, Guzman,
Guzman.
was standing
They called him
there with his
He didn't
firearm.
help her.
yeah,
Didn't
Yeah,
help
he
her.
didn't help
He
her.
had
Yeah.
nothing but clear headshots.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
she
He
got
didn't
so
help
far
her.
by herself, broke through a window, met up with her team, who could have easily helped her. Like it wasn't like the situation got
They were like
worse.
20 feet
Yeah.
away from her. Yeah, they were like 20 feet away. They could absolutely have
Yeah,
helped her.
and
gotten
the
through
trader
it.
guy was straight up just like, "No, she's dead. Leave her, leave her, leave her." Meanwhile, she was like running
And
like,
that's-
on her feet, like able to get away, and it was just
Yeah,
That might have been what it was. Is like that he like because he kept yelling that like that's the hesitation.
But,
you know what I mean? It's like it made people not. Shoot,
that was the
but yeah,
first
no,
scene
it was
that turned me
definitely
off. Because
weird.
I was like, when he first switched it up so that she was going to die, I was like, okay, she's going to die right away. And then I was like, oh, she's not going to die. Like, she actually might get out of this. And I got excited. I was like, cool, this isn't going to just be one of those, like, tropey movies where they just kill off everybody or, like, kill people off one at a time. And then she's getting away, and you're like, sweet. Like, she's going to turn him in. She's going to, like, blow his head off, something. Like, she's going to get her revenge. And then she just dies. And I was like, okay, so that last 5 minutes was all for
Yeah.
nothing.
Also,
Yeah.
dude, those lines, like the line where she's like, "We really got to talk
So
about why
stupid.
you're here," because I saw it was so.
we need to
cheesy.
have a discussion.
Yeah, it was just like it was death flags.
It was
the
like,
line.
we're going
Like,
to
you know what I
turn
mean?
you
It
in
was
as
like-
soon as we get our money. Like, it was so stupid.
And you're like, "What the fuck?"
I
are
don't
you
think
talking
it was that corny.
It was-
I don't
No,
think
it was
lovely.
really corny.
It was like,
It wasn't that corny,
It
but it was
literally
really
was like,
fucking corny.
what's your
It was
purpose here?
corny.
We're going to have a talk as soon as we get to the casino where the money's at.
I'm gonna
like,
tell
You're in
your
so much
dad.
trouble.
Meanwhile, they just established this plan where you rely on the person in front of you to get you to where you need to be. And then she says, you're going in
Yeah.
front of me. Like, it just,
Yeah,
she
she's
set
like,
herself up.
Death
and,
flag, death flag,
Yeah.
death flag.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, she had no way out. It was one of two things.
No, she.
Number
but
one,
she was a badass. She was a badass. It was just a shit line. It was. I don't
Yeah.
think that's her fault. I think it's literally
Yeah.
the writing. It was just trash. Like right before she got killed. Oh man, but yeah. So she fucking dies. She's the first one. That's the you pop the cork of like it's like somewhat like background character dies. Lots of other people gonna die. What is your favorite? So like obviously there's gonna be a lot. There's a lot of character deaths in the movie. We've spoiled that everyone but one person lives. What is your favorite death? You think?
probably Guzman. The fact that he got bit, he knew it. He's lying there on the ground. He's like, "You're all going with me," and he pulls 4 pins out of grenades on his chest and just says, "Come here." Like
That's
that.
pretty cool.
That was the best death. But a quick honorable mention: Dave Bautista's death in reanimation held me. I didn't start crying, but I was just like, "What a way to end it."
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I like
I like the Coyote's death.
hers was
a lot.
cool. She went out strong.
Yeah, where she gets like pinned on the
I was
fucking
expecting
wall,
her
but
to
then
like
she, holds
pull
out
the gun.
head.
Like, I thought she was like going to drop it, the head over the ledge that he goes
Mm-hmm.
over, and then the back of his head was exposed because he
whack
didn't have
him.
his shield there. And I thought she was going to like pull a gun and like shoot him, but she was like dead by then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. There was the craziest death of the movie was probably Dave Bautista is looking at the girl he's having a crush on at the elevator. The elevator door opens. Zombie grabs her head and fucking
let's
turns her head.
talk
That
about
was fucking
scene
nuts.
For a second.
That was
And her
nuts.
spine was here.
Yeah, that was absolutely nuts. That was like so. Basically, what happens is they do the whole thing with the baby, right? Head zombie figures out that like the what's it called? Basically the queen zombie has been killed because the traitor wanted to take her head back. Because essentially, like the big aha moment of the movie is like everyone's there thinking that they got hired to go into the safe when really the real mission is for the guy that works for Mr. Tanaka wants to take back a sample or a living zombie so that they can remake the virus so that some government, either the U.S. government or some other government, can make their own zombies. But this super backfires on him. He gets yeeted by an undead tiger. But then,
I'm
what
gonna have
exactly were we
nightmares
talking
about that scene.
What were we talking about? We were talking about
the couple, Batista and his love interest, and then she dies.
We started on how the girl got her neck
Yes.
snap backwards.
So they get really fucking mad like when they're in the safe. Everything's going well. Like they're working on the safe. Everything's going okay. And then the alphas get fucking pissed. And then the king zombie, when the queen zombie dies, is like, hunt, go find them and fucking kill them. Just like Jack says, they come down the elevator, it opens, and they yeet one of like the main characters almost
So
immediately.
can I also talk about my gripe with that scene? That
Yeah.
they're obviously Batista and her name was Maria Cruz knew each other
Yes.
before.
Yeah. They were part of
Yeah,
the
they were the
original
OG
like,
crew that like was recruiting everybody. They knew each other.
Yeah.
They didn't bring in that love twist that she was in love with him and that she wanted to get back to him, and that they were exes until literally 30 seconds before she dies. There was no
Yeah, that was
100%
super
sure.
It was just kind of like she just starts crying, thinking that they're in love and that they were gonna have this like romantic
Yeah.
like get back together scene, and then she dies. And I was like, I feel like they could have built that up a lot earlier in the movie because it was again 2.5 hours, plenty of time to do it, and then kind of like cut her out more like dramatically, like after they have their first kiss or something. No, it was just like out of nowhere she just
They-
decides to tell him that she's still in love with him and that she wants to get back together, and then he confesses that he thought that they were
It was-
done and forever, and boom, dead.
It definitely felt super shoehorned. Like it was like very like, we want to give this person more like
Meaning.
more of a stake
Yeah.
in meaning. So we're gonna shoehorn this in here and then we're just gonna kill her immediately.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it was. A
It
little
was
weird.
very it was very
upsetting.
ham fisted.
But I like the
I-
way she died.
I know that I liked the way she died. I thought that was very cool, and I'm glad that it was like quick and like there's like no takesy backsies, you know what I mean? It's not like she gets shot and she gets on the ground and then she's fine. It's like no, she just fucking dies. Like they snap her neck and then she drops, and you're just like, oh, we're in like the danger zone. So, and then they all have to kind of like pop off and escape.
Kenny Loggins couldn't have warned you about that
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Highway to the danger zone. Yeah, but fucking no, dude, I thought that was a really good twist, especially to go from like, oh, everything's going great to like, the zombies are mad.
one. Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh, they're
I think
living.
this is the last thing I want to talk about before we wrap up, and it's going to bring kind of back
Yeah.
to the beginning. There's a character that's introduced in the beginning who they build stakes around right away because she has two kids, and she goes to Kate, who is Batista's
Kate,
daughter,
yeah.
and she says, I'm going to do something reckless. I need you to take after my kids. This character goes off into the zombie land. We don't see her for the next 2 hours. Literally.
TM. Yeah. You're like, you don't
Like,
care
they
about this
built
person.
up
This is just the only reason
They
that
built
Kate's
up
going
so
in
much
there.
care
Yeah.
for her. Kate instantly betrays her like promise to take care of her kids because she goes then in after her, and then you don't see her for 2 hours.
Yeah, what the fuck happens
They just
to her?
end up,
though?
like,
like
hiding
So-
Kate
in the-
gets her.
No, they weren't hiding. So it went back to they ended up in the Olympus. The Olympus is the big hotel
Yeah.
where all
Yeah.
of the alphas,
The alphas
were.
are.
It was their operating base. And they would take certain people to turn into alphas. They would trap them in a hotel room, presumably in a showboat. Not the way I'd want to go. And
I don't ever want to die in the showboat.
and the alpha zombie picks them off. He takes them, makes alphas one at a time. They were about to get turned into monster
Alphas.
Oh,
zombies.
so they
Yeah.
were captive. I thought
Yes,
Yeah, but
they
they
were
got,
captive.
but she released them. Like she got them
Yeah.
out, right? Or no?
Kate got them out.
But that's weird.
And then, you know,
because
Bautista-
when they made the sacrifice.
But you never see them actually
No,
get
you
out.
do. They get on the helicopter
What do you mean?
together.
No,
Yeah.
Kate does, but they don't.
She got on the
She
helicopter
doesn't
with
get-
her.
No, she runs down the stairs. So the two, I think, run down the stairs where Kate and Dave Bautista have to run up the stairs to get to the helicopter because nobody else is on the helicopter, right? Like on the helicopter, after the helicopter crashes, it's Kate, Bautista, helicopter pilot. You see the helicopter pilot dead, and you see Dave Bautista turn. Nobody
Not
else
true.
is there.
Not true. That Greta girl,
Greta,
Rita,
Greta.
whatever the hell her name was, she got on the helicopter.
I think.
Really?
I would swear to you.
Gita is her name.
Yeah, I
Gita.
think she got on the helicopter.
She got on the
Yeah.
helicopter. They didn't
But you
show
don't
her
see
in
her
the helicopter
afterwards.
during the fight. They didn't show her after the helicopter crashed. They didn't show her getting onto the rescue chopper that ended up finding
She
them.
did.
I think they
She doesn't
assumed
matter.
she died.
Doesn't matter.
But then he gives her the money. Dave Bautista gives her the money. She's like, "Hey, you can take care of
No,
those
she
fucking kids."
he gave
and
it
I'm
to
just
her
like,
daughter. His daughter.
that's what I'm saying, though. It's like, why the fuck would you give a shit if the woman is dead?
No,
you know
no,
what I mean? I don't
no,
know.
Is the woman
So,
dead?
wait.
Plot hole.
Kate was a volunteer
Yeah.
for like a refugee camp. She wasn't just taking care of those two
Yup.
kids. She was taking care of thousands, like or hundreds of kids. So that's what
Yeah.
that's what
But
he
she
was
cared
saying,
about these
like take
people.
care of those kids. But because I don't think he
okay.
knew about Gita or her kids.
No, he did.
another
He did.
that's another
He
plot
explained
hole.
why
He
he was
did
there.
because he said,
Yeah.
yeah, take this to take care of those kids, Gita's kids.
He said it's not millions,
And
but you could take care
Yeah.
of
Maybe
those
she's
kids.
died.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
maybe we need to go
Huh.
back and watch.
Plot hole. True. All right. Anything else? Any other, big red flags? Anything else we want to talk about that was really good about the movie before we get into our, before we take this thing and we throw it into the click or keep scrolling.
the very beginning of the movie, it's the newlywed couple in a Lincoln. I have to do the car guy thing once.
You love
Runs
it.
into.
Jack loves cars. Jack's
I'm a
really
big
good-
car
he-
enthusiast. This
he
is
knows
Ocean City
everything
Cars and
about
Coffee.
cars. Yeah.
It is either late 1960s or early 1970s Lincoln sedan, very heavy vehicle, that runs into a military pickup truck, like a military monster, and the
Yeah.
military monster explodes.
Yeah, no
Not
shot.
fucking true. The
Literally
Lincoln
no
would
shot.
be about as big as this cell phone.
Obliterated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Truck driver would just
true.
be
I
like,
thought that was a little dramatic.
"That's weird."
Agreed.
I said my
Okay.
piece.
Joey, anything? This your last time.
Nope. I'm gonna wait till I.
Nope, no opinions. All right. We'll start with
Yeah.
we started with Joey.
Ooh,
We'll start
I thought
with
you were
Joey
gonna
again.
say that.
Joey. Ooh. Click or keep scrolling, Joey.
This was a fun movie to watch. I feel like it'd be a good movie we should have watched all together. I think
True.
It's entertaining. It's a zombie movie. You know what you're getting. It's done artistically well. The writing's not great. The acting's not great. The story's good. It's got its plot holes. I'm not really selling this, but I'm gonna press play.
Okay.
Oh, I thought that was
Yeah,
that
that
was a
sounds
big
like a-
sugarcoat for
I
keep scrolling.
realized-
Yeah, I thought that was like
It
a
was a
begrudging.
begrudging-
Yeah,
Press
that was
play.
like, look, you did great.
It
I'm
had the
proud
X
of you.
factor.
The
I
hell.
liked it, but I don't know why. Because as you break it down, I realized I didn't like it. But for some reason, I was entertained and enjoyed it. Yeah.
So you
press
do want to press play. Okay, got it. All right, Jack. What do you think?
I don't like gory movies. That's the God's honest truth. But it's so. Like I said before, if you don't like gory movies or blood kind of freaks you out, like in the slightest bit, do not watch this movie. It is the goriest movie I have ever seen in my life. It makes Zombieland look like a Strawberry Shortcake movie. That's just what it is. But it was incredibly entertaining. It was a great new spin on how zombies work, like adding the alpha aspect to it. I mean, yes, it's a little cliche. It's another zombie thing. It's very much playing off of Dead Rising 2, but I'm pressing play. That was a great movie.
True. Okay. I definitely think it was entertaining. I thought it was a good time. I understand where you guys are coming from in your assessments and you ending on the pressing play, but I actually I understand what I like about this movie, and I'm glad you said Zombieland, because I compare it against Zombieland, and if I'm going to be honest, I prefer to spend 2 hours watching Zombieland, and I would tell somebody else to go watch. If you're going to spend 2 hours watching, there's so much zombie content out there, go watch Zombieland.
Yeah, Zombieland's better than this.
I'm actually going to keep scrolling for this one. I'm not saying that I don't agree with you. I'm not saying that I don't agree with you. I did find it somewhat entertaining, but I think if you're going to spend 2
James,
hours, go watch.
This
Red
is
Zombie.
you were
Yeah.
the same person who told people to watch Things Heard and Seen, and now you're telling people to not watch this movie. I think
because things. If I'm going to be honest, for Things Heard and Seen, I don't know as much about horror shit. You know what I mean? So it's like,
well, okay,
I
that's
don't
fair
know.
because
I'm like,
I don't know that much about
eh,
I don't watch
you know?
zombie movies that often, so
yeah, I watched a
Yeah.
lot of zombie movies. I watched a few of the Of the Dead movies. You know what I mean?
This is the
Romero
second one I've
movies.
ever watched.
Yeah, there's a lot more better zombie content out there, and this is an action zombie movie, not a horror zombie movie. But there's even better action zombie movies out
interesting.
there. So I have a little bit higher standard when it comes to my
Horror
zombie
movies, you're just
content.
fuck it.
Yeah, horror
Woody
movies, fuck
Harrelson
that
spoiled ya.
shit. Yeah, it's true. I fucking love Woody Harrelson in that movie, dude. But
Yes.
dating advice.
Date a zombie. Get her pregnant.
Don't weird zombie babies. Dating advice. So Jack, if you didn't know, I think it was Julia's idea, Kevin's girlfriend, at the beginning of before we started the podcast, that at the end of every podcast, whoever is hosting has to give dating advice, and we've done it every
I think we missed
time,
once.
I think so. We might have missed once.
I'm not hosting, am I?
No, I'm hosting. So
Yeah.
I have to think of it.
I don't know why you mentioned it to me then.
I'm
You also
explaining it
don't
to
want
you.
my dating.
If I'm going to be honest, I'm explaining it to you so that I can stall and think of something. Let me think. I honestly think,
No store brand condoms by Magnum.
ew.
There it is. You heard it here
Ew.
first.
There you
I
go.
would say, I don't know why, but this keeps like coming in my head, or I can't get this like one thought out of my head. Maybe it's because
Coming on your
every
head's not a
time-
good dating advice.
every time they zoomed in on the zombies' mouths, I was like, that looks disgusting. Make sure you brush your fucking teeth before you
I love the long-winded way of saying brush your teeth. Hey, look, you
Brush
don't want your teeth to look like
fucking
zombie teeth. Brush your teeth.
brush your ding dang teeth. Because it makes a difference. It does. Like, people are like, if you have like a stanky ass breath, like, people are like, ugh. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I've been
I
in
did that,
conversations
though.
with
argue
people.
with you,
What
but
do you
that's
mean?
boring advice. It's good advice, but it's boring.
I mean,
Fuck you, Joey. Go ahead, Jack.
I suppose some good dating advice that has worked for me in the past. Don't be like every other guy that's trying to pick up a girl and talk to a girl. Be a goofball. Be something that she's never seen before. Make her laugh. Like, do stupid things. Do stuff that she'll tell her friends about.
Butt stuff.
Boom. Look at that. My brother. We've had a lot of weird suggestions in the end of this podcast. Anyway, thank you, Jack, for saving my boring advice with some actual quality advice.
And no store brand condoms.
Yeah, sure. We're gonna roll past that. Thank you very much for watching Clicks Fellows. We really appreciate you guys coming out here and watching us. Jack, thank you so much for signing on and watching the movie with us and being a part
I
of
have one
this
more thing.
podcast.
We didn't shit on Kevin enough. So
Yeah, we should shit on Kevin. All right, we got 30 seconds.
fuck
Fuck
Kevin.
that guy.
I made a playlist of videos called Kevin Struggling that I want to share with you guys that I'm going to. It starts with the video of him getting attacked by seagulls after picking up Chickies and Pete's, and then it goes into him trying to do a 50-meter dash at our friend's house and falling flat on his face. And it concludes with him at best speed walking from our house to his house in our neighborhood, yelling at the camera going, "I am pure speed!"
Okay, we'll put that on the Instagram because
Nice.
that needs to be seen.
Yeah. We'll make sure we put. That's amazing. Kevin has a very
He
is cartoony
Yeah.
at times. It's very cartoony.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Jack, for coming on. Listen, in those comments down below, shit on Kevin.
We will be.
He definitely deserves it.
Yeah, we will be. But we're excited to have a guest on. We have 2 click plays, 1 keep scrolling. I just want to say thank you again for spending the time. Please consider leaving a like down below if you enjoyed this content, and please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. Again, we're trying to grow the channel as much as we can. If we'd also appreciate it if you could share the video. We're trying to see if we can cultivate a larger audience and hit a few people we wouldn't usually hit. Additionally, go check out this podcast on Spotify and or Apple Podcast or any major podcasting platform.
Yeah, just tell a friend. Tell a
and
friend
also,
to watch us.
yeah, tell a single friend.
And if you have no friends,
We're your friends.
that's
now.
fine too. Just keep
Okay.
watching.
DM us.
We're your
Yeah.
friend. Leave a comment.
We'll
DM
talk
us.
to you.
No, if you do the Patreon, we hang out in that Discord. I made the
we
Discord. we
chat.
hang out there.
Everyone deserves a friend.
We chat all the time. We talk movies. We talk video games. We talk whatever you want. But please leave us movie recommendations in the comments down below. And
Yes.
thank
Ciao,
you.
ciao.
again.